we do today is I got some new product, and instead of doing the unboxing down here because um, most of it's Pioneer and there's so much cardboard involved, and I just didn't have the heart to bring it down. So it's kind of like a pre-unboxed unboxing, but I wanted to show you guys some new materials that I got that I'm really excited to be using. So if you saw on the community tab, I saw this arrangement that I'm like obsessed with. It's got like blood oranges, grapefruit, and then orange and red florals. So I've been procuring some supplies to create like a faux version of it. So let me pull some of that. So these dahlias are part of it. Hey, Marion. Marion's saying hi to you before me, Andrea. What has happened here? Okay, so this is kind of like a hodgepodge thing. But if you saw on the community page the arrangement that I'm trying to recreate, it's all like oranges, peaches, reds. So I got some of these, I think they're called like proteas. Totally could be butchering that. And then I got some peach peonies. These are, I want to say they're like sunset peonies. These dahlias, which, I mean, like, they really are gorgeous. I got more of the sedum. And then things that aren't from Pioneer, these are from Amazon. So I think I already tagged them because I'm surprised, not surprised, but they're really good quality. Okay, so I got these pomegranates, and it's a set of 3, and they were a little pricey. I want to say maybe like $26, but they really are beautiful. And you would be able to, they have a hard coating, but you could definitely either use the stems that they're on, or you could put a floral pick in it if you needed to extend it. And all right, there we go. I got my Sunny Georgia hello from Marion. Thank you. All right, and then these are also from Amazon. So I know I kind of squawk about these flowers coming super squished. These aren't that squished. So let me see if I can open it. So these aren't from that Jubilo or whatever it is. It's from something else. Let me grab some wire cutters. I'll never be fully prepared. Okay. So I got these. These are those peony bushes that people go gaga for. So I think these are going to go very well. These honestly probably don't. They might need a little bit of steaming. You could get away without doing it. So these are actually better. I guess I'll have to figure out who made it. It says Merry Christmas from Blooming Paradise. So I'm sure I have it linked, but I want to point out which one is better because I thought they were all across the board like crushed. Hi, Caroline. Yes, I'm glad you're able to. Hope you guys are having a good day so far. Happy Friday. And then also to pair with that, I got some of these orange ranunculus. And then I got these from Amazon too, and they're super cute. I don't know if they're kumquats or baby oranges, I forget, but like they're adorable. So I got these. In addition, I did look on Joann's website to see, and they do have some fruit, so I'm waiting for that to come in because Joann's is so hit or miss. So sometimes you can get a really good deal on something good. So they had like different color kumquats, like yellow, red, and orange, I think. So those will be coming in as well. The biggest Amazon find is I found good berries. Okay, so I used to get berries this color from Pioneer, and they discontinued them. These are perfect. So they're well priced. They have that hard coating. You can definitely do the UV protection on it. I was so happy to finally find something because I'm very picky about the berries I use, and these are like right on the mark. And the pricing again was good. So looking for some chartreuse berries, then these are them. Hi, Victoria. Are we going fall? We're not going fall yet. This is just kind of like it's like a little passion project, but these definitely could go fall. I mean, most of these items could. And I got some sunset or tangerine ranunculus. I stocked up on the sedum because this stuff is so beautiful. I mean, I love it. I love the color, the texture, everything. And then let's see, there's some other, I opened these and threw them in the box, but I haven't really like inspected them. So these are a new product for me from Pioneer, and they're some type of berry. And these are nice too. So these would pair really well with something that's like burgundy or like purples and pinks. So I like these. Hello, Maggie. How dare you be late? Maggie's salty. Oh, I'm late. I am late, actually. I mean, it's not a surprise, but I am late. All right, so we got some white peonies, Pioneer. So they have two different types of peonies. One I don't like. They look kind of like flimsy. These I like. So if you are looking for good peonies, let me know and I'll tell you which one I like better. The other one's just very fluffy. These are more like ruffly. I'm just making a whole mess in here. All right, so we got some peach peonies, which I love. Okay. I had to get more of these. You know, I don't know about any other makers on this call, but I think this is probably one of my last hauls for the spring-summer season because I really do need to shop with what I have and do a lot of designing using the things I already have. So, because otherwise you end up with way too much and then you have to put it away for the following year. Oh, you know who was supposed to tell Maggie and she didn't. I don't want to say her name. So these are Bells of Ireland. You know, I am an Irish lassie here. And so I want to do some type of big floral arrangement, like a crescent arrangement. I have a bunch of like passion projects in my head. So I wanted to use these for height. Okay, so I like these. I got wax flower, which, okay. It's okay. I mean, it feels like wax flower does feel just like this. I wish it was a little deeper in color. I don't, unless there's different color options. So we'll see as I dig through because sometimes I buy in just a total frenzy. Yeah, a kit with which one? Because I'm sure whatever it is that we can do. Okay, more of the same. Okay, this is a different type of greenery. And it's variegated. And it's plastic, but I don't think it's not too plasticky. Kind of smells. I'll have to see if that goes away. Sometimes like these manufactured things, they have like I don't know. Like I've had things that smell like petrol and I just send them back because I just think it's not good. So I don't know. Those came out right out of the bag, so maybe they're going to be fine. We shall see, but if they're not, I'm definitely not giving them to a customer. What else do I have in my bag of tricks here? So I wanted to get some good filler bushes because in doing the upcoming workshops, like the in-person, some of the products I realized like the pricing is starting to get high where it would be hard to really have like a good profit margin when doing a workshop. So I'm looking for some less expensive like filler options. So I like these. I got them in this color too, which I love. So today I'm supposed to be making a corsage for my nephew. His girlfriend lives in Florida, so he's flying down there, and obviously he can't bring a live corsage with him. So I got these, and I can't remember if anybody knows flowers, okay? I know it starts with like a Steph, and people put, like florists put like pearl pins in them. So I wanted to check these out. I like these. These are really pretty. So I think this is like more for corsage work, or that's what I was thinking, because the stems are pretty short, but they're nice and detailed, and they're not real touch, but they feel nice. Like the leaves feel good. Those in front of you, all of them, Maggie. Would you just like this kit? This kit sent to you. You tell me what you want. All right, so more of the same. And then I got my favorite fern, which is the mixed fern bush. And like when I think about shopping here first, I did not realize I had an entire case of ficus in my overflow room, and I just bought another case. So I have an obscene amount of ficus. So that was silly on my part. Oh, Marla is at lunch. I was hoping maybe people could just do this on their lunch break. Marla, we're just going through some new things I got. Mostly from Pioneer, a couple of Amazon finds. So I love the berry peonies. I know if Connie's here or when she sees it, she will love it too. And then I got yellow ranunculus, and I'm trying to remember why. I'm not really sure what I bought this for, but they're pretty. I thought they were going to be bright yellow, so sometimes when I'm just like ordering real quick, I'm not as careful in selecting things, but those are really pretty. And then we have our blue ranunculus, which, as we know, these always like pack a nice punch when we're doing a design and we want like that bold aspect. So this is, I think, pretty much the haul. Everything else I feel like you guys have seen before. Yeah, this sedum, I think I showed you that. So, all right, so now to put it back. What do you guys think of the new wallpaper? I did this yesterday in a fury. So I don't know what I'm going to do for artwork yet, because the girl that I usually have up there, she doesn't match. So I need to figure out something. Good, I'm glad you love it. I was kind of thinking, I like the other one, but it was kind of on the darker side, and I wanted something like bright and springy. And who knows, I get like real ADHD about this wall. Like it was, and actually I took like one of those time-lapse videos because it's actually pink under here. I had like a phase where I thought that would be fun. So I'm all over the place with this one wall. Changing it up. All right, so again, if you missed it, found actually really good berries on Amazon. Can't believe it. Yeah, the blue ones I do love too. Carolyn loves the wallpaper. Awesome. So I have to say I'm going to make a wreath, but it's one I've already, like, for members, I've already shown you. Except I'm going to make it for a storm door. It is somebody's birthday in town, so I have to do a delivery. So I'm like, well, why don't I kill two birds with one stone and do that during today's live. So I hope you guys don't mind, because the materials you have already seen. Okay. I'm going to try not to make you dizzy, but I'm going to have to flip you around so that you're at my workbench. Also, in addition, you can't build these out much. So more modern storm door, you have up to 5 inches of space. And if it's an older house, it can be as small as like 3 to 4 inches. So if it's an older house, I might even go with a 10-inch frame, or take this and like cut a lot of this out to make it super thin, because the florals alone are going to be, several inches. So everything we do on this design is going to be very compact. So usually I like to have things nice and airy, and that's not the case with this, because otherwise it's going to look like smushed up against their glass. Okay, so we are designing specifically for the storm door. So the first thing I'm going to do is start prepping this wreath, cleaning it up. So it's a little, let me just try and squish it a little. This is a Michael's case purchase. I like to just squish them like to manhandle them. So for this, we're gonna get like the nice width. Like I had some that were really kind of skimpy, but for this, I feel like we're gonna get like the best of both worlds, where this side is gonna look nice and full, but it's not super bulky like an 18-inch. And I'm not charging anything different, only because we're gonna really be using the same amount of supplies. It's just a matter of what the frame is. And I mean, with frames, you're talking like $1 difference or something. So I would not discount this because it's on a 14-inch frame. I wouldn't treat it any different. We're actually customizing. So there is value in that. And I think I'm going to have to unplug the ring light for 2 seconds because I just want to move you closer. And the cord is only going so far. You can get a good view of our wreath, hopefully. Oh, and I have to show you guys something I bought. It's either the stupidest thing or the best thing ever. Okay. Again, the stupidest thing ever or the best thing ever. This is like a phone holder, and it goes around your neck. I mean, I don't know why on the back of the box they show a girl in bed. That ain't the view I'm going to be doing. But if I wanted to try and just do like something where you just see my hands doing the designing, I think it's pretty cool. I haven't tried it yet. So again, it might go right back. But if anybody's looking to say good morning to somebody with a camera around their neck, this is on Amazon. Oh, somebody has a Stephanotis. I might be butchering that, but that was what those white florals were. And I think they're also for wedding work too. So thank you. Could not remember the term. Okay, so we're making a crescent style wreath. So I am going to pick which side is less desirable. So we're going to cover up this side, and I'm going to put my hook right here. So we're going to feed our jute wire or grapevine wire, whatever you want to call it, through here. We're going to just twist it off, slide it through, and then we're going to mark it with a bow just so we can find it. So just tie this in a little knot. Okay. And my glue pan is just heating up. And so why don't we make our bow with a name that really should be trademarked, because it's just so creative. Our 10 by 10 bow. So go. I'm gonna point you down. Okay. So we are going to make our 10 by 10 bow, and it's called that because all of our measurements are just 10 inches. Super easy bow. So if you're doing a design that's kind of supposed to be more minimalistic, this is good. Or if you're starting out and you're looking for just something easy to, you know, kind of like learn how to do. Hey, Nancy, I'm glad you made it. Oh. You know, the lady in the painting, I almost want to paint her flowers, because if I painted her flowers, she would be fine on her head, but she's just, I don't know what I'm going to do with her yet. I do not know. Okay, so we're going to use this striped ribbon. This is just from Michael's. It's 2.5 inch striped. We're going to say a little prayer that I have enough. And we're still going to stick with the 10 by 10, even though it's going on the 14-inch frame. I think it's not going to be like overpowering. Okay, so we're going to take the back of our ribbon. We're going to measure 10 inches. And then we're going to pleat. All right, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the back side of our ribbon again, measure 10 inches, and then bring it up and around. And pinch. Then we're gonna do a nice crisp twist so that we're putting the back of our ribbon again down on our ruler. Measure 10 inches, and then we're bringing it up. Do another twist. Back down on the ruler. Measure 10 inches. Okay, so this is just 3 loops. Super basic, but it does the trick, and it's a good one to master if, you know, learning bows, if you're just like in the earlier stages or you just find them frustrating, because sometimes they're just frustrating. So I'm going to make one big loop because that is going to be my extra set of tails. Now I'm going to take my floral wire. So this is 22 gauge, and I'm going to slide it right under my thumb. And I'm going to turn my bow over. And I'm just going to twist this nice and tight. Now, because we're working on the storm door thing, we're not going to put this on a pick because we need it to stay flat. So I'm going to go through and I'm just going to dovetail the ends. Some of these tails are a little on the long side. So let's trim these up so they're pretty even. Maggie, you overcame your fear of ribbon. It's true. It's really like, I don't know. It's like no matter how many times like you hear instructions on things, it has to like actually click. And that's a process. Like even if you follow someone's directions, it's still like just something. Like when I was 19 and I worked at a florist, the owner used to get like so irritated with me because I could do a bunch of things, but I could not. Okay, so let's go back up to our wreath. God, already. Okay, well, that's not annoying. Okay, so we're gonna put our bow on first, and I'm just gonna feed this right through the grapevine. And speaking of dogs, I am super excited because my German Shepherd puppy was born the day of the eclipse. This is the 4th litter I've tried to get my boy Shepherd, and the first litter all passed away, which is devastating. The second litter, they didn't have a sable, which I want a sable because that's what my boy Shepherd that I lost was. The third litter was all girls. That was a kick in the pants. And so this litter has 1 sable male. And if anybody wants to give me the business about buying a dog, I have 3 rescues and I foster for a rescue. So you can save your typing. Don't need to explain it any more than that. So clearly someone has already tried that with me. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm tightening this on, and then I'm just gonna kind of embed the wire in here. We're gonna put some moss over it, but we wanna make sure that it's not gonna be scratching the door, and we also don't wanna look at it, okay? We're gonna start off with our ficus. Oh, if you guys lost sound, okay, Joanne, a few things were from Amazon. Most of them were from Pioneer. So like the fruit, the berries, and like the orange peonies that were all like balled up, those are from Amazon. So yeah, my husband and I are both working from home. I think we're both doing like video calls. So I was on a Zoom call before this and it kept freezing. And it's raining here. So I think the odds are stacked against me. If you lose sound, I apologize. We have a tradition that whenever we start like a new chapter or whatever, we do, there's this really nice inn in New Hampshire, and it's got like a nice restaurant there, so we do an overnight there. So Mama's gonna be eating good tonight and sleeping well. I am looking forward to it. So he starts a new job on Monday. Okay, I'm just prepping all of these. So I think we're gonna use like a total of like 3 or 4 of these. Okay, and I have my glue pot going. Marion bought the pink glue pot, and I think you're gonna be very happy with it. Caroline, I know, I love dogs. I had 5. So one of the ones, well, I lost my boy shepherd, and he was like my rock, but one of them my mom stole. So Winnie's kind of like community property because my parents live next door. So she's here half the time, and then she's over there. So she's still kind of my dog. She likes me a little better because I let her sleep on the bed, and my parents are strict about that stuff. So for ficus, usually I just go by, if I want something that's more blue-based or yellow. So like this is more blue-based as opposed to just like the straight green. And I prefer the straight green a lot of the time, but for these workshops, like this is for a workshop, people seem to prefer the variegated. So for this, I'm gonna go with the variegated for the workshop. So when you're, getting your supplies for a workshop, obviously the higher the quantity, the lower the price is going to go down. So I'm trying to stay a little bit consistent with some of the products, like the ficus. So that's what we're going to use for this. But a lot of the designing, like I have some like really fun things in mind, and I'm going to end up using just the straight green because I think it looks more realistic to me. Okay. All right, let's go to our wreath, and we will get going. So yeah, so Marion got the pink Surebonder, and I have the green too, and it's no shade to the green one, but the green one starts off hotter, and when glue gets too hot, it smokes, and I just think about what the impact is of anybody breathing in glue. So this one starts off with a lower temp, so you have more control over that than the green. Aside from that, I don't see any difference. They're both great. I know my girl Ashley from 3 Little Greenwoods, she found one at Hobby Lobby, the green one, on clearance for like, I don't know, $10. Like, that's insane to me. That's a great find. All right, so I'm gonna keep my flare factor low on this. Again, with the storm door, I cannot go too far off the rails with this. So as I'm doing this, I want everything to really be following the curve of the grapevine. You have both? Okay. Yeah, Maggie, let me know what you think, because I didn't notice the difference at first. But like the green one, I never turned up. I just turn it on the lowest setting, and I would leave it. This one, if you don't turn her up, she doesn't heat up the glue enough, and then you have like all those glue hairs. So let me know what you like. These stir stick things that they come with, I mean, they have a whole list of all the things that they do, but honestly, like, I don't know. You would stick your supplies in, not this, but they made a whole list for like, you can apply this to material, you can play drums, a bunch of things that really, it's just a stick. So not a big selling point. Yeah, Marlette, when I see it smoke, and I'm not saying this one never smokes, like if it's on for hours and hours it might, but when I see it smoke, I always shut it down. And certain glues and glue pellets are gonna smoke more. So for this, I use just the Surebonder brand, and they don't smoke as much as other things. Same thing with the Gorilla Glue Sticks. I feel like they're a better and safer product. I think they work better anyways, but they don't have all that like smoking to it. Oh, Marion's saying her green one's already smoking. Yeah, it doesn't have a low enough setting. Like even if you fill it up with like pellets, it just goes to that one place and you have to shut it down. And then you have to like, you know, get it in like the sweet spot again. So the pink one I bought because I was just doing like girl math, but I'm actually really happy with it. I do think it's the better of the two. And then if you saw like this, oh, I didn't turn it on, so that's good. So this is like the cordless corded glue gun that I use. This is on sale on Amazon. The other thing I didn't realize is that you can take the cord on the base and you can plug it into the bottom. So if you wanted it to stay like charged and heated, you just plug it in there. I had no idea. So, I mean, I'm not going to do it, but it's good to know. It's good to know what your options are. Marion, glue sticks. Yeah, I think Gorilla Glue sticks aren't as stringy as well. So, you know, some companies just don't make bad products, and I think that they're definitely one of them. All right, so we're just framing this out. And I'm going to use my little nubbing guys. I'm just going to place them kind of flat. I'm not sure why. I don't normally do this, but I feel like it. So. Gauge. People's emojis, like, they always kill me. They're funny. Because I don't know what they are. I think they're always monsters. Ryobi cord. Okay, so you did the Ryobi cordless, and it doesn't stay charged long enough. I have heard, not about Ryobi specifically, but that the ones that are rechargeable, that they're heavy and they don't actually like do too much more for you. So because I was gonna buy one, I didn't know they existed, and it could have even been you that told me, Maggie. But I'm sure that wasn't cheap. Like finding like the right product. Like once you find it, you're golden, but sometimes you waste a lot of money trying to figure out what that right thing is. Yeah, that would aggravate me too. There's so much you need to like start a business that you just don't realize. Like even that silly thing that like holds the phone around your neck, like all that stuff adds up. Like you hope it's going to be beneficial in the end, but it's trial and error a lot of the time. All right, so for this, we are going with our pink. I'm like literally looking at them saying the wrong name. These are the white peonies that I prefer. And actually, let me show you the ones I don't like. In case you care. Okay. So these are one kind that you can get on the site. And they're just kind of floppy. And these are like pretty and ruffly. The foliage is better. Like the foliage on this, it's just tacky. So I would look between the two, and I can't remember which one's cheaper. I'm pretty sure they're at different price points. So I can always give SKU numbers if people need them. And then for anything that's like Amazon, I usually put that in the Linktree thing, because I feel like it's so hard to shop on Amazon because the photos can just be like so deceiving. So, and if anybody else sees things that are good on Amazon and like a good price, like definitely share it. Like that community tab, you guys can use it however you want. And the Facebook group, like wherever you want to share it. I'm trying to make sure I share the same thing on both in case someone's not interested in doing the Facebook thing. All right, so I'm gonna cut these. So does anybody else struggle with like shopping with your own inventory and not like just resisting the urge to go to a store? and buy things that you really shouldn't, because I'm guilty. And actually, if you look on this wall, okay, so these vases, right, they went up in price like a lot. Like I think it used to be like $10 and now maybe they're 20. I have like I've wanted to put these in my cart for like the last year, and every time I do, I'm like, no, I can't justify it. I had an entire case of these in my garage. I found them this week and I was like, what is wrong with you that you don't even know you have these things? I also had a bunch of like wooden boxes from Michael's. So it's really good to make sure that we go through our stuff before we shop, because we might already have it here. So I'm happy I have these, but I was like, I could have been using them. I am doing kits for these things, and I feel like the virtual workshop date is April 30th, if that works for people. I just kind of picked a date because I figured in May we're going to do the patriotic wreath, and I just wanted to space them out a little bit. So yeah, with this you can do, there's 3 different kits. You can do coral, it's coral and white, the green and white like this one, and then the other one is like that really vibrant, the pinks and purples. And I put them with bows, but if you want to like swap it out, like if you see one on another wreath that you want, like I can try and accommodate, just let me know in the note section. Carolyn, okay. You still go shopping, I know. And Carolyn, have you had the talk yet? Because it sounds like you are occupying a big chunk of real estate at your house. I mean, when I was cleaning up the garage, I mean, I definitely monopolized the garage with all like my materials. So I gave myself the talk and found a bunch of good stuff. All right, so we're gonna go with our green hydrangea. I like the foliage on here, so I'm pushing it up. And actually, I'm getting ahead of myself because we're gonna do a pattern. So these bushes have okay, these have 7 blooms on them. Some are babies. So let's see, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then so we have 4 big, 3 little. So what we'll do is we'll alternate. So that one was low. Put this one high, and actually I wasn't thinking. This is for a storm door, so I really need to push these in. Airy is not the goal here. So that's really aside from I use a smaller base, and I just like to keep the materials close to the frame, because let me measure how far out this is, how deep it is. Jimmy's got a whole workout going on there. All right. So for this, the foliage is actually like making it too deep, so I'm just going to take this off. Just one of them. The talk has happened. Yep, the talk has happened. It gets very hard, like when you're first figuring out how to like store things. I can't even count how many different systems I tried to stay organized, and it's just a challenge. I think it's part of like us being creative and getting inspired, is that we just get carried away. Okay, so this is measuring at 5 inches from the back of the wreath to the flower. So this is the max. Okay, that's like just where it should be. Because most doors are going to have that 5-inch gap. And so if somebody asks you, if it asks you to customize for a storm door, it is helpful to just say like, you don't have to say like it's your household, but you can just say, would you mind letting me know if, could you measure or something like that. Hopefully people with older homes, they know to tell you, but I was really surprised that some are only 3 inches deep between doors. Okay, so Jerry, the kits are on my direct site, and what we do is part of like the membership group is that we do it together on a date. Right now I picked April 30th, but we can move that. And then if somebody isn't a member but they want the kit, which is, it's literally going to be this, except the grapevine base would be 18 inches, then they get a private link to the tutorial on how to make it. So the next one we're going to do on Zoom, I'm excited about it because I think it'll just be like really fun to actually be able to all talk. This thing is not going to hold. Okay, so working with our pattern, we're now going to go in with our green hydrangeas, and we're keeping in mind we've got one that's big, and then these other guys are smaller, and they kind of go off like side to side. So I want the big one in like a prominent space, but let's just start with our pattern. So it's giving us that guide that this is where we need to be. So I'm going to keep that a little on the flush side. And then for the chats, I mean, sometimes we are chatting on the community thing and on Facebook. I don't know if that's what you mean. Otherwise, there's a chat line and I'm just not on it. Wait, this is not the big one. Okay, yes, we are all about the flowers. Happy Friday. All right. So it's just different when you're designing for a storm door because you can't, like, my instinct, I have to just ignore because otherwise it's not going to fit. Lunch has ended. Bye, Marlette. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Okay. And then there are 5 hydrangeas on this, so we're going to have just 2 down here, which is fine. Let's do one in the bottom here. No butterflies are flying through these guys. Not that type of design. We are making a spring wreath to go in between like the door and the storm door. So the design is very compact versus what I would usually do. We're adapting here. Okay, and now we're gonna go in with, these are our mini cabbage roses. And usually most of them, they have 2 heads on one stem. Cool, cool. Definitely I'm not going to need like a whole bush of these. I'm thinking like 5 maybe. All right, we're going to start in our top corner like we always do. And we want these separating these blooms a bit, breaking them up. And with 2 on one stem, I definitely want to get the most out of it. So I'm going to give it a bend so it looks more like we're using 2 stems. And these, the foliage pushes up too. I sell the wreaths, and then we also have like wreath kits if people want to design along together. But the kits and the wreaths are at my website, which is enchantedvines.com. Sounds so salesy. Sorry. All right, let's see. So this is a gift for somebody's mom who actually lives in my town. So I'm going to do a little special wrapping, put like a nice big bow on the outside of the box. I think this is a really thoughtful gift. Like, you're a good daughter. She ordered it at the beginning of the week. Like, I don't plan. I'm not a good planner, so good for her. Oh, thanks, Maggie. Angie, do you mean like the glue pot? Because if so, it's just, there's just many tools to try out, but I originally used the kitchen skillet, but those don't last. I mean, and some people prefer like that they can just toss it at the end of, you know, like every year. To me, the green one I've had for years, and it's been fine. I like the pink better because of the temp control. And like, this just keeps you moving. I feel like having to start and stop to pick up a glue gun, it just kind of like interrupts your flow of designing. All right, we have some, we're gonna be putting some of the mixed fern in here. And some of the woodland. And as always, when I walk away, I feel like I realize that I neglected behind the bow. So let's put a set of cabbage roses back here. Maggie, I'm gonna have to put you on payroll, girl. You are good. You are a good advocate. Good hype woman. All right. Okay, so we filled that in, and then we're gonna backfill it with some greens. Let's do another little piece of ficus. Yeah, I haven't, so the kits, are the kits on the website? These kits are on the website. And then the patriotic kits aren't yet, although I was messing around with a few designs yesterday. Because one, I made 2 patriotic wreaths. One is going to be for the workshop, and then the other one I'm donating because this is very sad, but there is a police officer in Drake-it, Mass, and he was diagnosed with cancer and he passed away 2 months later. So his family is just totally devastated, and they're doing a nice fundraiser. So I'm making a patriotic wreath, and then I think this is really cool. I have a friend that I don't know how he gets all these things, but on the open side, I'm going to put one of the badges there in honor of him. So hopefully, you know, someone gives a good donation for it to help the family out through such a difficult time. But yeah, I don't know where my friend gets these things. It's not illegal or anything, I promise. But he always gets good stuff when it comes to the PD and the MFD. Good morning, Millie. Oh, thanks, Caroline. T. Bonvy, oh, thank you. Oh. T just goes through wreaths because she only has them, I think, a season because she sees another one and she loves it so much. I love that. Like my mom, I mean, of course she's my mom, so she buys a lot of wreaths, but like even on her storm door, she has one on the outside and then she has one on the inside of her storm door. All right, and then I want something on each side on this part of the bow. And I'm going to give this a bend so it's kind of going inward. I want it to cover a few different areas. And I love this ribbon. I mean, it's just like the one, it's one of the ones Michaels has year round, but like the stripes really pop. It's a good neutral ribbon. More of these. So we just want to make sure that this is balanced. So I'm going to put one right smack in the middle. And then I always like something cascading. So I like things to start off thick here and then thin out. So I like to have some trailing greens at the end. Throw these down here. I have built this. I actually feel like I built this over too far. So I'm just going to pull a few things out. You want to have enough of the grapevine showing. You know, when you're thinking of a crescent wreath, it's like that half moon, and I am just building this too far out. So I'm kind of losing that aspect of it. And again, this Sure Bonder glue does not mess around. I can't get this off. Okay. So for florals, if you pop off the head and this part stays intact, it's fine. You just dip the stem in to the glue and put that puppy right back on. I'm just gonna go and do the same thing here. And we'll actually end down here with this smaller peony. So we're not going to use them all. Yeah, I love the green too. I love like that green and white combo. I think it's classic and it's great for like year-round use. Oh, Steve just growled. When this puppy comes, Steve is going to be so mad. I don't know exactly how I'm going to manage him yet. I'm gonna leave this right here. Oh, yes. I know, as I build out, I need to do that. Thank you for the nudge on that. Maggie, I agree. Like, there's nothing wrong with plastic greenery as long as it doesn't look it. So, like, this is plastic, but it's good quality. I will say, though, whenever I'm using plastic versus, like, you know, like the whatever, silk or fabric, I always put extra UV treatment on here because I just feel like plastic is going to be more impacted by direct sunlight. And all my wreaths are for like indoor, outdoor use. So like my spring wreath right now is getting poured on and I'm not bringing it in. It's going to be fine. It's treated and the materials are good. I'm not too worried about it. All right, so we're going to start in our top corner. And then we're going to go below. Honestly, I think the plastic, it just depends on, like, so for this fern, I love it because I love the movement, and I'm not really sure that something that wasn't plastic would do the same thing. This one's also plastic. It's kind of like a softer one, but I think as long as it looks real. So there's one like this from Hobby Lobby. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I can't find it right now, but The one from Hobby Lobby, it's the same shape, but I don't love the color on it, so I haven't used it. It's definitely a good, you know, swap out if you're not doing wholesale or you're in like a little, like in a pinch. But this to me looks very lifelike. I don't like that. I guess let's do it more towards the bow. I mean, we could also stop too. I know somebody asked, like, when do you stop? And, like, sometimes it's hard, like, you get carried away. And I still haven't finished that succulent wreath that I pulled apart. But when I pulled it apart and I realized, like, how much of a waste it was jamming in all those supplies, like, it didn't look good. It looked very clunky. And it also, like, again, it wasn't, I used way too much. Like, I'm going to show you how much I pulled off once I'm done. Like, how much would have just been wasted for a wreath that I was not pleased with anyways. All right, so this tail's a little long. So for this greenery, it's from Pioneer, and it's called Mixed Fern. And then this fern is called Woodland Fern, also from Pioneer. I feel like if the tail gets just floppy, so I'd rather have this show. Okay, I'm taking a step back, and right here I'm missing a little bit of height. Ashley loves the plastic greenery. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good ones. Like, don't get me wrong. It's just a matter of what kind of goes best with, like, your florals. Yeah, Ashley and I we're connecting on Monday. I feel like we were doing Zoom calls, like, often, and we haven't done one in a while. So on Monday, I get to connect with my Wreath bestie. Sunday night, I'm doing a live with TMI. It's those peonies, which are super pretty. So I'm also going to try and stream on TikTok at the same time. I have no idea if that's going to work, but I'm going to try. All right, and then I'm going to keep this tight because, again, I don't want to eat up that space that I just made. Yeah, Caroline's saying sometimes she leaves it alone. Like, walks away. I do that too. I know sometimes, like, it's the saying, like, better done than perfect, and I get that. But also, if I get frustrated by something, then I know it's not going to turn out good. Like, it's like when you design and you're stressed, it kind of everything looks like jammed in. So I take a break and come back. So right here, there's a little too much ficus. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. I like the colors. I think this is very, like, soft. I would think for, like, a baby's, like, nursery, like, you could not do the pink and it could be totally, like, a gender neutral design. Yeah, this is irking me. Scratch that OCD itch. All right, so I think she's done. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip it over, and these stems are extra long because I made it so compact. So prop it up and cut all of these so that we don't have anybody's doors getting scratched. I went to deliver something at, like, one of my clients' houses, and they said that their door got scratched. Like, they took off the wreath, and I'm like, oh my gosh, your door is scratched. Like, is it from my wreath? And he went and got it, and it was a Christmas wreath. It was a store-bought wreath. And I said, yep, that's why you don't do store-bought. It ruined your door. So one more point for the handcrafted small business owner, because I was very happy to say with confidence that I knew it wasn't mine. I mean, I didn't say it in a fresh way. I was just like, ugh, because that does stink. He like put some kind of like cool coating on his door, and now it's ruined because manufactured wreaths, especially at Christmas, it's just that ring and it's metal and nothing is like buffering it. So some other ways to do it. I mean, I'm not encouraging the store-bought wreaths, but if you have a wreath that you do think is going to scratch your door, you could also put those like felt pads like you do on like underneath your furniture. You can do that. You could do the moss. You could do just using some unwanted foliage and just covering up anything that you think is going to damage it. All right, and because I have been out of moss waiting for more, we're using the good stuff. Oh my gosh, Maggie, that's awesome. Maggie posted a wreath and it sold 30 minutes later. Did you, now where did it sell? Was it like where do you sell? Can you remind me? Is it Etsy? Is it like Facebook, direct sales? Like, don't you like, that's awesome. Someone was just waiting for that wreath. It was beautiful too, so I'm not surprised it went fast, but like 30 minutes is fast. I know that Renee got a great sale this week too. She messaged me and I was like, you go. People are buying their spring wreaths now. Like this is the window of time, like, which is why I was saying this is probably like my last haul for spring, summer supplies, because you know how it is. Everybody wants things at once, and then once they have it, you know, once we're deep into a season, it's not as likely that somebody's going to be buying. However, you do want to continue to use SEOs or your standard, oh my gosh, what is it? Search engine optimization. So with your tags, you want to include things about gifting, because Etsy is really pushing that gifting thing. I don't know if you've tried it, but it's like, who are you buying for? And you know, okay, it's your husband. Does your husband like sports? Does he like whiskey? Whatever it is, it leads them down through a series of questions to a particular set of products. Maggie did it on Facebook. Yeah, do the thing scared. Absolutely. And you know what? Once you do it, like, especially when you get a response like that, Maggie, like, if that's not, like, the universe telling you to get your talents out there, I don't know what is. Like, you need to, like, I don't know if lightning needs to strike, not you, but in general. But that is a sign that people are waiting for you to share your gift. So good for you. Good for you for doing it scared, and good for you for making that sale. That is amazing. And I do like that part of the Facebook group that we can like share what people are doing, because I think if it was just my work, that's kind of boring. So I would much rather have it be a collective thing. I think that's a lot more interesting. All right, so here is our final design. Okay, it's a little bit on the compact side because this is going in between a storm door. So when you're looking at it, it's much, much flatter than what we would normally do. But this is custom. So I will be delivering this today to a lucky mom, a lucky birthday girl. And I think that's it. If you guys are around on Sunday, I'm going to be on at 7 o'clock. Definitely I'm going to be on YouTube. TikTok will be if I can figure out the technology piece, which you know is my strong suit. So I hope you guys have an awesome weekend. I appreciate you for hanging out. Maggie, as always, thank you for your informative responses, and also all my moderators. my moderators / regulators. I always appreciate you. So enjoy the rest of your weekend.